In boxing news today, well, not today, it's been about 3 days since now. Probably when I posted, it'll be a little bit more than that. But most of the news I'm going to talk about is fairly recent. As you can see, this is Al Heyman. And the PBC has recently struck a deal with Amazon Prime, which is a good thing. Now remember at the beginning of the PBC, or at least at the beginning of when I was aware of the PBC, I remember they were with Fox. I don't know if they made deals with any other networks, but from my experience or from what I remember, it was with Fox. And no, I don't remember. Jesus Christ. Everybody wants to talk to me when I'm starting these videos, bro. Anyways, so I remember that, and I remember thinking, that the PBC was stuck in the past. The PBC was kind of making a bad move because the way they were thinking was network television. They were thinking about, stuff like that. And the other thing about it was they're trying to promote boxing through making free fights, which was a good thing, right? That part I liked. If I'm not mistaken, it was them that was doing that. But the thing is, the free fights were supposed to be, in my opinion, people that were up and coming, people that were, and here's the thing, like Mexico and the Mexican community and the Spanish community here in the US, they have a way of doing things that's actually very well done. So they do have free fights, and they used to pass them on TV Azteca, and I know that American so-called connoisseurs would make fun of those guys, saying that they didn't have no skill, that they sucked or whatever. And it used to be a joke talking about, that guy needs to go fight in TV Azteca or something like that as a joke, meaning that guy sucked. But the thing is, because of things like that, that's how I figured out about Canelo. That's how Canelo was promoted to myself. So it's a good way to promote your fighters. Is a good place to start, kind of like the talk of the town, and to promote these guys. So the reason I came to know about Canelo was because of that, because he started in those places, and he's not the only one. The other fighters that I saw in free fights with Telemundo and maybe Univision, but I think it was just Telemundo. Was Jorge Arce, which was another very entertaining fighter, Mexican fighter. And this is where these are the channels or the free fights where you can promote your fighters. And then later on, like Canelo did, you can start making pay-per-views. So it was a good idea that Al Heyman had. Al Heyman did have a good idea. The thing is, he didn't know how to do it. He didn't know how to go about it. That is your chance to promote, the up and comers, the ones nobody knows. Of course, now he has discarded all of the ones that nobody knows, for the few that people do know. The Tank Davises, the who else does he have? Canelo isn't from the PBC, so you could eliminate him, even though he is working with the PBC. He's not a PBC fighter. Same thing goes for Crawford. Even though he is working with the PBC, he's not a PBC fighter. But all in all, it is good. This new deal with Amazon Prime is good, but it took them a long time to get with the program. I remember back then telling my friend about it, saying, hey, I personally think that Al Heyman and the PBC, they are a little bit stuck in the past. There's some things about the past that you should keep, like the free fights to promote your fighters, like I was just talking about. But as far as the platform that you're using, um, pay-per-view is good as well. But you also have to think about it, that the future is in these apps, in the subscription-based platforms. Stuff like Disney Plus, ESPN Plus, HBO Plus, which they changed for the third time. I forgot. I don't know what they're called anymore. Hulu, Amazon, all of these, subscription based platforms are really, the future, for everything, not just boxing, everything sports, everything, um, related to everything. But, but I think, finally, even sooner or later, as long as you get the point, it's good. Right? Because making a deal with Amazon Prime is good. Now, from what I hear, Amazon is not going to pay for any of the fights, meaning they're not really promoting anything. I'm having my lunch, by the way, multitasking. There's also a new trend, believe it or not. But from what I hear, Al Heyman is going to be doing most of the, or the PBC, is going to be doing most of the heavy lifting. Is going to be doing most of the, putting most of the money up front for it. So really, Amazon Prime is just going to be doing the what do you call it, the distribution, I guess, or the distribution, meaning it's going to broadcast on their platform. So is it a good deal? It is, because I feel like it's a step forward, but at the same time he is going to be losing a lot of fighters, and he's going to be keeping very little fighters, and a lot of these fighters ain't really his. Like the two main fighters that he's making money off of ain't his fighters, Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez, believe it or not, is the face of boxing. In other news, I didn't touch on this before, but sexiest athlete, according to votes counted, I think somewhere, I don't know where they counted the votes, but believe it or not, this guy is has he been, this is Joshua, what's his name, Joshua Taylor or Anthony Joshua, Jesus Christ. Anthony Joshua, has he been sexiest man or sexiest athlete? Because I know for a fact, this guy has. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, damn, like, this guy got it over this guy. What world is this, right? But listen, boxing is in the map. That's the good thing about it. The good thing about it is that boxing is getting good PR, and people are recognizing it around the world. The problem is, some people aren't going to believe that that this guy got sexiest athlete over this guy, who they're both from the same country. But at the same time, look, I don't know. I don't know what women want, right? Because if you think about it, right, some of the guys that get attention from females when it comes to the famous people is guys like Pete Davidson, right? Pete Davidson has been getting a lot of attention in the news from other females and famous females, and then you ask the regular females, you tell them you think this guy's attractive, and a lot of them say yes, right? Pete Davidson, that is. And the thing is, for us men, you know, straight men, by the way, not gay men. So I'm a straight male, and for me, in my mind, you know, the picture I have of an attractive male, or someone who I would want to be like to attract the opposite sex, is someone with a Giga Chat, you know, or Giga Chat jaw or whatever, or someone, you know, that's more Hollywood based, Hollywood like, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger, um, you know, stuff like this. But when you ask females, they start choosing these guys that have nothing to do with what we believe to be attractive. So maybe that's what's going on here with Tyson Fury. Maybe he is uh sexiest athlete alive, or whatever the hell the category is. But I mean, look at this guy. I mean, he's yeah, I'm not gonna say he's ugly. I'm just gonna say, you know, he's not what you would think of when you think about Texas man. Now it was voted, and I think, I don't know if it's a joke, but I think they were voting outside a pub or something, because all the bitches were drunk when they made their decision of sexiest athlete alive. Um, but anyways, just a little fun, just a little joke. In other news, you know, another guy who's also making headlines in the boxing world, and also cementing that he is the face of boxing, is Canelo Alvarez. And these last two, I put them at the end, and I wanted to emphasize something. That one of the guys that's making big news is from England, from the UK, and the other is from Mexico. So we start to realize that the boxing landscape, the boxing world is not in the U.S. anymore. You know, it doesn't depend on the U.S. anymore, and it's not really here. So for us here in the U.S., from our vantage point, we see it and we're like, who is Blood? You know, who is that guy? But to the world, you know, they know exactly who these guys are. You know, they're very popular around the world. They're very, you know, known, and way more than a Tank Davis is, way more than even a Terrence Crawford is, really, way more than a lot of these fighters that are from our neck of the woods. And you know, it's very hard for someone like us. And I say us because I tend to be a little bit less, or I try to be less arrogant. But most Americans, you know, we think that the world revolves around us, and that, you know, whatever we think is famous, that is what is famous. Unfortunately, that's not the case. You know, the world moves on with or without us. You know, and the people that we deem to be, you know, popular, the world doesn't really know. Like, for example, um, the Charlos. You know, people were always claiming, oh, Canelo should fight the Charlos, for Charlo this, Charlo that. You know, fight both of them at the same time. Fight this guy, fight that guy. When really those guys are only popular to a certain circle of the population of the U.S. So it's a very small um, sector of the boxing community that really cares about those fighters. You know what I mean? But in the bigger picture, in the bigger world, you know, Canelo is one of the most famous people in boxing and most famous people in the world. This guy is also one of the most famous people in the world. He's extremely popular. All right, so just think about the Saudis. They know him. They're gonna pay him a lot of money to make his next fight. Another one of the most popular guys out there is this guy. You know, Anthony Joshua. You know, all of these guys that I just showed you right now are way more popular than Tank Davis. Way more popular around the world than than some of the fighters that we believe, like the Shakur Stevensons, who makes, from what I hear, 30K or something like that per fight. So he's being overpaid because nobody really watches him. You know what I mean? And it's not my opinion. Just look at the numbers and look at what the product that he's given us. He's running around the ring, playing tag with his opponent. We're here to see a fight, not to watch two idiots, playing footsie around the ring, right? But I'm glad that the rest of the world is not asleep like the American boxing scene. The Mexican boxing scene is looking good. The British boxing scene is looking good, or the UK boxing scene is looking good. And around the world, people aren't as stupid as we are, and thank God for that. But anyways, guys, that is it for today. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys later.